Up, everybody? Happy Saturday night Nitro to you all. I hope everybody today had a positive, eventful day. Maybe you even worked on some Nitros. Hopefully you had some great food. And hopefully you're ready for what I hope to be another sickening Nitro Gang repair. Now, this particular one, let me just talk a little bit and I'll give the viewers in here a couple of mentions, because without you guys in the chat and in the stream, well, this would all be a little less interesting. Now, of course, I can make Nitros great again on my own, but why not share it with a couple viewers around the world and motivate some of you guys out there to also do the same? This way, even though manufacturers today are stopping the production of Nitros, they simply don't care. But I always knew a long time ago, I don't care if modern Nitros are sold out. Let's put it this way. As long as you can burn Nitro in a 20 to 30 to 40-year-old car today, and I have proven on this channel that even 30-year-old Nitros are just as awesome, then I should have no issues 20 to 30 years from now. What I'm basically saying is I am making our hobby disaster proof. Do you understand what I'm saying? Disaster proof. All right, we got Lucas Stalk up at Rickety Rag, Geomag, how you doing? WBL, RC Boys, Big Boys Toys over here. Tara Curry in the house, Dolo Brolick. We got Lotus RC, Nitro Brothers, Rusty RC Customs. And some of the other viewers are showing up. Paige Smith, Jose Velasquez. Happy Saturday night to all of you guys. Now, Saint Makina, the man of the day. And of course, the right-hand man to Dennis Anderson, but with more motorcycles. Okay, never forget it. If you ever meet Saint Makina in real life, you ask him, where's the Harley at? He knows what I'm talking about. Anti-Hero, how you doing? So, my dudes, today is a follow-up to what... Oh, I got someone walking down the stairs. Hold on a second. Someone just brought me something delicious. What the hell? Everybody, if you want to have a good luck with an old Nitro, Monte Crisco, how you doing? David Diaz, how you doing? Johnny, what's up, man? If you want to have good luck, you know what you have to do. You have to put a Taco Bell soft taco on it. That's what you have to do. I mean, I didn't make this stuff up. There we go, okay? We got a Taco Bell soft taco. I know it looks less than awesome, but trust me, you put one in the microwave, and it will be good enough. I know I've been seeing some of my awesome channel members out there enjoying some awesome tacos. You know who I'm talking about over there, my buddy on Instagram. Can we get a hell yeah? And I decided, well, he's going to get a taco. I'm going to get a taco. Although this is Taco Bell, so of course we're talking about higher, lower levels of deliciousness. But once again, a taco is a taco. Can I get a hell yeah for that? There we go. Never forget, this is what made this channel great. Let me chew a little. As you could tell, in the background there's an engine in the bag. Well, that was the engine from yesterday. I'll give you a good update on that, a little update on the Gravedigger, and the star of the show, the Taco Bell soft taco, which I think this is the first time in the world they made it with an average amount of beef. Usually, they kind of skip out on the beef, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, I would not mind getting a job at Taco Bell for like a week just to understand how the system is run. And then, to spite them, make my own recipe. I kind of thought about doing that. But then I said, no, I have a regular daytime job and I am personally responsible for making Nitro great again. So I'm kind of busy in the daytime, bro. I'm kind of busy. Can't be doing taco recipes, okay? I'm sorry, I can't be doing that. But nobody said I can't enjoy them, right? What's up there, Nitro Pimpin? How you doing? All right. So I am sitting with a couple parts in my pants, okay? And not weird parts, they're RC parts, everybody. RC parts. There's no weird business going on here, all right? So, you guys might have seen this Thunder Tiger earlier, but these are the parts I pulled out. Hopefully some of these will fit. Today, I met up with my good buddy over here, St. McKenna, the right-hand man to Dennis Anderson, but with a couple Harleys in his garage. And he hooked me up big time. So, I think both of these will fit. We'll get down into it, and we will discuss what is wrong with this. Now, the last time I showed you guys this particular Thunder Tiger, you know, it was left up to debate what was going to happen. I'll go over why, but believe it or not, if you're not from the USA, well, relatively, I would say if you're from the USA, I think it's pretty much agreed upon that Thunder Tiger really was never that popular here, at least in my experience with that. But I know worldwide, Thunder Tiger is a brand worth licking the floor for, which means it's fantastic. Thunder Tiger was going hard. They made many, many motors for many, many cars, including our American MGT series. Now, Holman, how you doing there, Holman? This one really was never, in my opinion, the cream of the crop. But regardless, we still got to make it a runner. Am I right or am I right? So let me finish my taco because I'm a little hungry, actually. I was planning for the stream. Didn't have time to eat. This is like from last night. So not the best. But a taco is a taco, you know? I was watching a documentary the other day. They were discussing about, you know, produce at, well, let's say, farmers markets, right? Produce at farmers markets. The truth is, guys, those fake farmers are generally buying stuff from wholesale supermarkets. That's just the reality. You know, I don't know how you want to feel about it, but that right there, that is a fact. And finish up this taco. I will admit, they do oversalt the beef. It could use a little less salt. The salt is a little bonkers on this one. Very, very bonkers. All right. Fueled with Taco Bell, I am ready to discuss. So, let me ask you all a question. What do you guys want first? An overview of this particular chassis? Or an update on the engine from yesterday? Now, I gotta tell you, I was up a couple hours last night after the stream thinking of should I try to tear down the rest of the engine. Nitro Brothers goes update. That's a great idea, dude. That's a great idea. So, here is the engine. Lotus goes update. Like I said, I was up last night, literally a while, a couple hours, really, thinking of should I tear down the engine even further. Someday7, how you doing there? Creative username, Someday7. What are my glasses doing in my pocket? What's up there, Ben? Happy Saturday to you, my buddy. RC Cape Cod, what's up, man? So let me open up the baggie. Now, you all might remember yesterday we ran into basically a catastrophe, which turned out to really not be a catastrophe, but it could have become one. And what I want to talk about is knowing when good enough is good enough and when to stop before major destruction, right? So, here is the engine from yesterday, the Thunder Tiger 21. You guys remember, had a massive issue with removing the set screw. Decided to just keep it. Andre Lise, what's up, man? Happy Saturday to you. Decided to keep the set screw. Now, people in the comments later on were actually asking me, listen, Hybrid, can't you remove this whole thing without removing that? Like, why do you have to remove the set screw? So basically, this whole thing is tied into the starter shaft. You can't remove the pull starter assembly without removing the coupler. It's called the coupler, so you can't do that. It's not possible. Now, the next issue I had was removing the cooling head. And you guys might remember, we got 6 2mm screws in here. So I would say not the most effective design, considering the Pro 15 uses 2.5mm screws, which, you know, the larger your screw diameter, not 100% true statement here, but less prone to minor strip jobs. Okay, I don't want to talk about major, but minor. So I said to myself, listen, let me heat up this engine. Let me see if it spins over. And bros, Bash bro, how you doing there, Bash bro? And guys, good news, good news. It spins over perfectly. So the air filter I gotta put back in. I cleaned the filter separately, right? Cleaned the filter completely separately. Filter is fine. Dust boot is fine. We're gonna silicone that and put it back in. Let's take a look inside the crank. You know, it's not really a 100% foolproof method, but put some oil, heated it up. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not that bad. It's actually one of the better ones I've seen. And spun it over. It has, I would say, normal compression for what it should have. So, obviously, without running it, there's really not going to be any way to know. But looking inside, it appears to be in normal condition, right? So, technically, I gave up trying to remove the head, and I said, listen, if it spins over, it spins over. There's no point in trying to, you know, drill out the screws if it spins over. What do you guys think of my analysis? I think that analysis is pretty correct, actually. Could have ruined it, right? Now, if there's an issue, obviously, that it needs some sort of repinch, that's going to be an issue for another day. It's going to be an issue for another day. So that's the update. Bearings seem okay. The rest of the block, as you could tell, it's substantially cleaner. Really nothing else I need to do with it. It's time to really kind of test it out. That was, in fact, my plan today. But then I had a road trip, all right? St. Makina goes, run it. Exactly. No real point in tearing it down more. I think we're going to keep it how it is. All right, let me put it back in the bag. And we will continue. So that's the update on the MGT engine. I'm gonna put it back here because this is an ongoing project. And let's go back to this particular Thunder Tiger TS4-N. I'm gonna use the wheels today as a stand because, well, that's what I got. All right. Now this one has been modified to run wider wheels, but there's basically a situation. You guys might remember, we have basically no rear wheel drive. Sometimes you do. As you see, I spin the wheels, right? And very, very infrequently, it communicates the power to the front. So I've already, through my keen observatory powers, you know, used the Hubble telescope, of course, zoomed in with the Hubble, determined we have a rear sprocket issue. And that is where this sprocket comes in. I'm going to fix this one up a little bit. It has a little bit of damage, but it's literally no big deal. I could fix it up. Most of the teeth, oh, almost dropped it. The teeth seem to be in normal condition, and that's what matters. So I think at this point, what needs to happen is just a legitimate disassembly of this. I also notice, so these models, in case you didn't know, they were basically competing with the first generation RS4. RS4 obviously is a better made car, but Thunder Tiger, they released a lot of models. I would say they are kind of like Schumacher. And I think a lot of people here that have Schumachers, KP, what's up, man? You guys might agree with what I'm about to say. Schumachers had real good engines because they were Thunder Tiger engines. But the rest of the chassis and the Schumacher, it was close to like being toy grade. I would say very close to being toy grade. Ray Coral, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Super chat to the channel. If you guys want to see a real Schumacher, I could put it up right here and, you know, we can check whether my statement is BS or not. But I stand by that. Ray Coral, appreciate that, man. I stand by what I said. Don't get me wrong. Schumachers are sickening, and a lot of the viewers here have them, especially Nitro Pimp, who has a pretty sickening collection of some of the top tier models. And that is great to see it on his channel. My buddy Ben has a couple nice ones I've done videos on, and I have a couple nice ones. And I think Paige over here is also working on a couple himself. But the truth is, the best thing about Thunder Tigers is, in fact, the engine, same as the Schumachers. So let me go pull one out of premium storage, okay, premium storage facility. Self-storage is what it's called in my basement. What you just heard fall was a Nitro, okay, but luckily nobody can kill it, and neither can a fall. So let me put this one a little on the side, running out of table space here, but I'm lucky to be able to do that. And we'll take a look at this one. So this is, depending on where you're from, could be called like multiple things, but this is in essence, in my opinion, the Schumacher legacy. Now, this is using the old style steel chassis. It's very yellow. Steel. Notice I said steel. That's right. They did not even understand aluminum. But steel is pretty solid. This is painted the correct factory color, obviously, by them. I didn't paint it. The problem with Schumachers, I'm going to tell you right now, they have real good engines, real good, in my opinion, headers, which are basically the team associated header, right? Because you could see they're not using, it's basically the same setup as the MGT with the headers, right? Just a different style. The fuel tank is not original, but if you've ever seen a Schumacher fuel tank, you'll want to pull your hairs out. All aspects, what's up, man? How you doing? So, all of the front end components on this are, well, hard to say they are. I'm not sure whether they're Tyco or Nyco or some kind of toy grade componentry. The shocks, pretty much no matter what you do, they're going to leak. Every Schumacher I've ever seen, the whole front of the suspension arm here has been shiny. That's, trust me guys, that's not because people polished it. That's because they leak more oil than Armas. Okay? It's all plastic components in the front. I wouldn't say the parts are even good. All of these parts, they are like extremely flexible. All of the links, super flexible. We have, this is basically the stock wobble. Okay? I'm moving this without moving the servo horn at all. This is the stock wobble right here, bros. Okay, the bumper, it's, I guess they're relying on magic for bracing. The bumper literally has no bracing at all. It's very, very flexible, which is good and bad. But, you know, no bracing of any kind. Shock tower in the front, well, it's very, very flimsy. It's basically string cheese. Okay? Yeah, Ray Coral, everybody, it's basically string cheese. Okay, the entire steering setup, it works. But if I zoom in, well, I'm not going to zoom in. But take a look at this linkage setup over here, right? I'm just going to wobble the wheels. Do you understand what I'm talking about? And this is factory. This is after I fixed it, actually. So, the wheels, they're highly proprietary. You can't run other wheels on these cars. They have very unique wheel nuts. Wheel hubs, rather. If you guys want to see, I could try to take one off just so you understand what you're buying when you're buying a Schumacher. Now, there's different versions of these. This is the XTR 3E. The reason it's the 3E is because we got a 3-speed trans. Now, you could have gotten what they call a Desert Storm. These are Desert Storm, but there's also just called the Schumacher XTR. And the XTR is a single speed. So 3E means 3-speed transmission. Now, the gears are actually pretty good. They're Durlin. They're pretty solid. Clutch bells are very, very unique. Notice how these clutch bells are set up. I wouldn't say it's garbage. It's pretty good. But normally, right, on the clutch bell, the first gear closest to the engine crank is the largest. Meaning, well, I don't want to say, but basically, it's not the largest. Well, here it's the lowest, which technically makes sense. These gears are not impossible to find. They're still available, so I wouldn't worry about the gears. Next up, we got the wheelie bar in the back. Or should I say grab handle. Yes, this is it, with what appears to be toy-grade looking plastic screws holding it all together. So, like, you know, the build quality, highly, highly subjective. Extremely highly subjective. Let me show you the wheels. Now, you guys might remember, this is actually the XTR, the Schumacher, that I bought and went to a real car show with. You guys remember when I brought 2 junk car RCs to a car show? And nobody knew what I was doing. But guess what? I had a good time. Those people with the Chevelles and the Corvettes, they could care less about these Nitros because why? This has more speeds than the very first Corvette. You guys know what I'm talking about? The very first Vets in America had a 2-speed transmission. We got a 3-speed baby. That means it's a winner. Let me take off the wheel. If I think I can over here. Yeah, it should come off, no problem. We'll take a look at the wheels. So Schumacher had this, yep, Nitro Pimp with the correct name, the Power Glide. I don't want to say the wrong name, bro. I thought it was going to be the Turbomatic, but it's the Power Glide. Yes, the Power Glide 2-speed baby. In a real vehicle, okay, in a Corvette. So this Schumacher has more speeds than a Corvette. You could actually say that. Let me take the wheel off. And you guys will see what I'm talking about. Good luck taking this crap off. So these hubs are not correctly sized. It's like almost impossible to rip it off. Gotta spin it out. All right, let me see. It's almost out. Oh, the Schumacher taking up a lot of my time. All right. Bearing fell out. Okay, so here we go. Let me get closer in there. Is that the bearing for the wheel? Yeah. See, even bearings fall out. All right. So here we go. I've said it basically normally. The Monster, how you doing, man? That's right. Those car people they just don't understand, dude. They're just negative Nancy's, bro. I was out there with a sickening retro collectible Nitro, and they were just looking at me as like, you don't belong here, bro. And the thing is, I don't think they belong there. Tell that Corvette to get more speeds, then show up. Driving on the roads, polluting. You can't even smell nothing in a car. Gives people migraines when you're driving behind one of those pieces of shit. Anyway, let's not curse much, but notice these wheel hubs. Do you see what I'm talking about? Basically, you're stuck using this wheel. This style of hub, which has like 4 prongs, interlocks. Can't use any other wheel. Can't do it. So major problem with one of these old cars. Now, if you want to get a Schumacher, I would highly recommend you pick up the newer generation Menace. Menace 21, anything Menace, right? This one, it's cool. It's fast. It's actually faster than the Menace, from my understanding. Dana, how you doing there? I'm Dana. That's right, Saint Makina. So Schumacher was really, dude, these wheels, you know, basically, if you get one without wheels, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a big problem. And that's the same all around. These little, it's kind of like the way old Tamiyas used to interlock, right? So the wheel has to go inside that hub. Next thing, they use technically kind of small pipes. Now this pipe, generally, you know, you would have a larger pipe for a larger displacement engine. Only RC, man, how you doing there, man? Happy Saturday. If I forgot to say hello to anyone, I am sorry. Michael Sucha, yeah, how you doing, bro? Happy Saturday to you. Generally, the way pipes are made, or should I say classed. Lasso Kid, what's up, man? Based on the displacement of the engine, you would have a larger expansion chamber, right? Now, these ones are relatively small for a .21 engine. The reason is, I believe Schumacher just did not update anything, right? So this particular model, in fact, it's been out since, guys, I think the late 80s. Not this model, but more like this chassis. Let me put the wheel back. Actually, no, before we continue, I do want to talk about one other interesting Schumacher feature. So the battery box. Get ready for this. Are you ready for this? It's gonna blow you away. Here's the battery box, right? It's basically literally a battery box with a vertical door. There you go. It's a flat piece of plastic, and that is the battery. Oscar Quendo, what's up, man? Welcome back from vacation. I hope you got a nice tan, because we are back to heavy snow out here in New York, dude. Darren Cage, how you doing, bro? Yes, he goes, I have two Schumachers with, the XT10 and the very fast Fusion with the 28. Those are the fast ones. So here is the battery box. I'm going to give you a quick little zoom in. It's a real odd way of doing things, because it's obviously a rectangle, but, you know, the AA is just kind of wobbly in here. You're supposed to put foam in here, right? So don't let me make shit up here. You're supposed to put foam in here so it doesn't wobble. But what I'm saying is, Woogie, what's up there? Woogie enjoying the nice Texas weather of 70 degrees. Well, I got my shovel ready, bro. We're expecting another up to 18 to 24 inches in New York tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of inches, dude. That's too many inches for me. Melissa, say hello to people. Melissa watches TV shows during the stream, so she's not always on the computer, bros. So I apologize for her in advance. But just so you guys know, she loves you all sometimes as much as me. Okay? All right, so I'm going to put this back, but just to demonstrate, Mark Tulak, what's up, man? This is kind of how Schumacher did it. Nunu, what's up? I mean, does it work? Yes. Bad design, I would say also kind of average design, because if anything happens with this rear impact, this will just like collapse. What if this breaks off, you have no door, right? I would say it's a design that is susceptible to damage easily. That's kind of the bad thing. Real easy damage if you have it to the battery box in the rear end. The shocks, once again, it's basically the same story. They leak all the time. Notice all the shocks are leaking. It's kind of like a 1987 Lincoln Continental. Great car, by the way. 1987 Lincoln Continental. I remember one of my dad's co-workers had one, and he was the manager, okay? So the manager had the Continental. Bro, when I saw that digital display in the Continental and the cushy white leather seats, I knew the guy was a manager. Manager of bullshitting? Yes, he was. Kidding around. Okay, let's look at the bottom of the chassis. There, and yes, this is a 3-speed trans. These models, just so you guys know, I also want to tell you, the shift points are not really adjustable. These have fixed springs on the inside that have predetermined shift points. It's good and bad. You know, you can't really make an error, is what I'll say. But if it's assembled wrong, you ain't going to be hitting no speeds. Let's take a look at the bottom of this chassis. So, like I said previously, these are really old, weird designs. Notice the engine is not actually directly screwed to the metal at all. Another weird design choice. Well, I'm missing a screw here, but these screws, there's basically kind of a plastic insert that the engine is screwed into. Now, at first, I thought it was terrible because, you know, the hot engine is going to melt the plastic. But in fact, it's not regular plastic. This is a pretty good quality, probably resin reinforced. Well, not resin, but nylon. It doesn't really melt from, like, nitro engine heat. So it's actually not a bad design. But just so you see what I'm talking about, I'll show you from this view how they mount the engine. It gets a little bit not too fun when you work on it. That's what I'm saying. All right, so if you get in there real deep, personal, Engine is mounted to this plastic device. It's not a device. Well, device is not the right term. I guess you would call it the engine plate. Mounted to the engine plate. And this engine plate literally goes all the way to the back, under the diff. All of that is how it's mounted. And good thing is, well, depending how you look at it, gear mesh is not adjustable, right? So there's an up and a down to non-adjustable gear mesh. You can't ruin your gears, right? Meaning your engine really won't move. But this is how Schumacher did it. Notice I have myself a homemade pull starter handle, of course. I got this engine with the cord broken and literally made one. Dan and Mads, what's up, man? Happy Saturday to you. So just that's right, from the reaction. Oh, it needs to be fixed again. It seized up. But either way, this was a runner. I did a video on this. Let me see. I should have a video on it somewhere. Let me Google it. If you guys want, I can do a quickie on it, but it runs pretty good. Let me see. Hybrid32494. This is going to be the XTR 3E. I did a video, but it was such a short video because it's hard to even run this thing. So I'll show you just for a quick reference so you know that I ain't messing around. This has been on my channel literally multiple times. All right, so I'll show you right here a couple of the videos that I did on it so far. All right, so these are all my videos that I've done on it. Obviously, I've had it a long time ago. I put one together out of two. So I had two that were based. These were how I got them. They were junk, literally junk. And it took two to make one run. Here's another one. I think this one, I didn't even finish the whole speed run. The run was so bad, I couldn't even finish the run. Well, let's see. I'm going to play it for a second here. About 3 years ago. Let's see what we got. I'm going to do a quickie play on it. Just a little bit. No audio or nothing. Let's see the intro. All right, so this is literally this car. Right, so there's the pictures, what it would have looked like with the body. XTR 3E means the 3-speed trans model. So they claim that, I'm going to pause this for a second. I think this is really important for those people that don't know. So this is the claim to fame on this particular chassis. They claim that it was the world's most powerful 10th scale truck, right? Hit speeds in excess of 70 miles per hour. That was the claim. But of course, they're doing weird stuff like scaling things down. Like I guess they're doing a math conversion from a quarter mile, like as if you were racing, down to 2.7 seconds. You can't really do that. So I guess they say if we run a 10th scale of a quarter mile, it's not really correct math over here. But Schumacher math it's basically like modern math in school. You know, people don't know how to add 1 plus 1. They get 11. You know, 1 plus 1 is 11 modern school. So this old video, you could see I'm running the bones. I got my Prius out there. That's the pull start handle. Come on, bros. Could I get a hell yeah for that handle repair? No Nitro's going to kill a hybrid over here. Man, look how clean my shoes were. I ruined those real quick. Right, so it's a runner. These are two-wheel drive. They have real weird setups, and you ain't going to go straight. Page, hell yeah. Let's see. So the pull starter handle works, bro. It works. I don't care what you guys say, but it works. I don't care. If the job is about firing it up, it did it. But basically, let's see. I did a little bit of a run here. I had more to do, but like this car is kind of unsafe to even run. Let's see. It's a warm up, but it does hit the 3, no problem. Let's see. Where's some of the good action? I think it's over here. So it's going real quick. I mean, you could see I am way in the distance over there. Right? I mean, it's moving, baby. But, you know, this area I was in, the surface isn't really that straight. You could see the camera jiggle a lot. It's going pretty fast, but obviously we're not hitting the top speed. This is probably like 45 over here, maybe 50. I mean, I'm passing myself pretty quick. Probably not even 50, really. But I got to tell you guys, you got to accelerate this thing real gradually. Because, you know, also you got two-wheel drive brakes, which means garbage. But these engines, good RPM, they tune easy, and their carbs are good. So it's basically the run from this. What else did I do here? I don't know. Probably just some talking because it was a little too scary to run after a while. Let's see what happened here. Right, so this is exactly this car. Oh, that's why I stopped. Okay, my wheel came off. See, this is why you gotta watch your own videos, guys. You gotta watch your own videos. Eduardo, how you doing? He goes, the wing on the body. So yes, these bodies are hella rare. Obviously, I don't have one. But the body, normally, you are correct, Eduardo. Normally, let me go back to the picture. Normally, they have a massive wing. Pretty much like the Integra Type R. That's Integra Type R wing status over there. All right, let's get back to this one. I'm going to put it back and we'll work on the Schumacher. Just a little bit of a historical class, I guess you could say. Anyway, in terms of buying these, you really want them to be complete. You don't want to be on a parts hunt. Trust me, that's the last thing you want. You don't want to be part hunting on these. You could tell all of this stuff is like, you ain't going to be using Traxxas parts to repair this model. Let me put it that way. Even the wheels, bro. Look at the wheels. Do you see what I'm talking about now? We all know that RC10 GTs and, like, you know, stadium trucks of that level, they have also, like, no hubs. But this has gone where no wheel has gone before. And that is the loony bin, guys. The loony bin. All right, St. Makina goes, pull out the bones, bro. I can't. I have it in the car. I left it in the car. But today, I was hanging out with St. Makina over here, my buddy, the person I got a couple of these RCs from, not this one. And he gave me a sickening quart of Bones Brew. You know what? If Melissa is listening to this video, I'll ask her to go get it in the car. Melissa, are you watching? Melissa? Can you go get the Bones Brew in the trunk? She might get it. She might not get it. I'm not sure. Okay, so let me put this thing back. By the way, in terms of drivetrain, these are actually belt drive. It's hard to tell, but can you get the quart of Bones Brew I got today from my buddy? It's in the trunk.
What'd you say?
Can you get the quart of nitro fuel I got in the car? People want to see the Bones Brew. They want to see it real bad. They're begging.
Where?
Guys, tell her you're begging to see it, or else she ain't gonna listen to me. It's in the trunk. I got the quart of fuel in the trunk from today in the box. Well, she made some noises, but I think she's going. Okay. If you're wondering, what about the drivetrain? So these things are pretty complicated, actually. Now, notice there's no slipper clutch. It's kind of a creative design. So if you don't use a slipper clutch, generally you want to use a belt. So inside, there's a tunnel right here, which is the differential housing. There's a thick belt that goes to the diff. It's a real short, thick belt, but it seems to do the job. So Schumacher, they had a lot of good ideas, but I would say whoever built their cars had a lot of bad ideas. What's up there, KGM? KGM out there, I know, is about to be breaking in the WR8. All right, so we got this back in. You got to be real gentle with these wheels. I mean, how do they expect you to do 70 miles an hour? This is not a particularly light car. It's actually a little bit on the heavy side with like those little triangle nubs sticking out. Sickening Schumacher design, man. You guys understand what I'm saying? Crazy design. Well, you know, it did work. The diff is actually pretty good. I think these are also ball diffs. All right, Melissa going to get the nitro fuel, and we're going to continue. Also, interesting design of giant throttle return springs. This, in fact, is the original throttle return spring. So when you open the carb, see? It does actually close it. That's the factory throttle return spring. Some sickening design. Oh, we got Melissa here with a gift. It's either a taco or fuel. In this case, it's fuel. So special shout out to St. Makita today, who hooked me up with a quart of the Bones Brew. So you guys might be seeing some of this vintage fuel in my videos in the near future. Now, I would say this is a good blend. I used to get the 10% oil, but you know, if you run rich enough, 8 is pretty good. This was great fuel. I like the color. I like the bottle. I like the sticker. I like it all. So hell yeah to St. McKenna on that one. We're going to treasure this, dude. Treasure it. Just don't drink it like it's not grapefruit juice. Yep, Melissa made a sigh. She made a noise. I know she's going to make me pay for it later. Sickening, sickening. All right, let's put it down. All right, let's get down. I'm going to remove this particular Schumacher because it's taking up a lot of table space over here. But like I said, if you get one of these, make sure it's complete. Now, normally, I would say the most important thing to also look for, you don't want to be left high and dry in the starting system. Now, it's pretty rare to get one with a pull start. I would say very rare. Normally, these had what they call the E-start, which is basically a drill. It's a drill start, just like the MGTs, like all the Team Associateds. But the back plate itself, the one-way bearing, all that stuff is pretty rare on these models now. Well, that's our overview. We got close to 100 viewers. I guess people like Schumachers. Well, I do too. This particular one, you know, it's like it's a model that is it's not for everybody, right? If you're a collector and you appreciate weird designs, that's one for you. Probably if you think a Commodore 64 is a good computer. Let me know if you think a Commodore 64 is a good computer then. All right, John Hensey, how you doing, bro? Let me put this one away. All right, so it's disassembly time, everybody. Disassembly time. MGT wheels, perfect work stand. People be buying work stands, but just need MGT wheels. By the way, there was a special viewer of mine, John. I don't know if he's here right now, but he was earlier asking me for a radio that I use and my recommendation on radio. So I put the FlySky GT5 in the description of the video. That's going to be my top recommendation for an inexpensive, user-friendly radio. So if you guys want to check it out, A-Main has them now. Dana wants to know, what are we all running for fuel? I'm running VP at this point. 20% nitro, nothing crazy. All right, let's roll. So first thing we got to do, I got to figure out why we have weird drivetrain friction. So let me just diagnose this a little bit. Oh man, Big Boys Toys remembers the Amiga 500. That's how you get it, bro. Boosted RC, what's going on? I think my very first PC was like a Pentium 1. I mean, obviously I was a kid, but yeah, definitely Pentium 1. You know, when they went to Pentium 2, it was kind of the same. When they went to Pentium 4, I think it got even worse. So, what I notice is I have the brakes completely not applied. So, there's definitely no brake. Definitely no brake. And when I roll the car, there seems to be a good amount of friction. So, there's obviously belts. We need to determine which belt or which pulley or which gear is creating friction first. And then we got to tear into it. So, first thing I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to ask your opinion. If you were confronted with a situation like this, what would you do? Say McKenna had the IBM 286. Anybody here watch those old computer shows? Technology Connection? No, the Computer Chronicles. That's right, the Computer Chronicles. That's where I get my vintage computer information from. Oh man, Nitro Pimp had the Texas Instrument T1000. Dude, was that the Arnold Schwarzenegger model? No, that was a 3000, T3000, huh? You had the Terminator of computers back then. Nunu goes, yes, that's right. All right, let's, I think the first thing I'm going to do is eliminate the most important part, and that's going to be the motor, the engine. Right, so this one is actually, I wanted to talk about it. It's a original rare Thunder Tiger, Point Pro 15. So once I take it out, we'll take a look at it. So let me get down to removing the engine. I have all my cutting instruments ready to go in case we need to hit them up once again. So let's see, Schumacher, they used Phillips screws everywhere. From the looks of it, maybe not the best ones, but you know, we'll get down to it. I do want to say, guys, this model, I learned today from St. Makina here, these were in fact cheaper than the RS4, right? So keep that in mind. Today, I know we believe that the Thunder Tigers are kind of a premium brand, and I think they've become a premium brand. But this particular one was in fact positioned cheaper than the RS4 of the time. Oh man, Eduardo bought a centered inverter microwave. Who? Because of technology connections, right? Yep. Did you watch the solar panel video? I gotta tell you, I think his opinion of solar panels is kind of incorrect, to be honest with you, because he lives in an area where electricity is really cheap. All right, let's continue. Plus, I don't know, the technology connections guy, bro, he should have bought a Tesla instead of the Hyundai Ioniq. We all know the Hyundai Ioniq is the loser compared to a Tesla. I don't know, man. Although he's a cool dude, real smart. I like the videos. Can't trust the Hyundai Ioniq buyer. I can't trust one of them. Why would you buy a Hyundai Ioniq over a Model 3 or a Model Y? I don't know why you would do that to yourself. Well, let's see what we got. Okay, first screw. It's a mover. Second screw. If I have to cut one, it's no biggie. Appreciate you guys. Okay, we got next one. I'm going to just move them a little bit, and then we'll get down to the speed screwdriver. Hyundai Ioniq. There's one of my neighbors not far away bought a Hyundai Ioniq 6. I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. I have never seen that car move from the driveway. What do you think it is? Why would you buy an overpriced electric Hyundai and not drive it ever? Yeah, Nitro Pimp, let me see what he said. He goes, hybrid. All of my tracks is 33%, says 2.5, but works at Pro 15. I would say I think the Trax is 33% fuel is the very old fuel. I haven't seen it recently yet, but from my understanding, that's the really, really old fuel. Yeah, I would say it's pre-2006. That seems probably correct. Honestly, guys, I don't really focus much on like the nitro content anymore. It's safe to say if you have 20% to 25%, you're going to be basically the same. Now, obviously, if you're competing in racing, you want to be, you know, the best possible. So yeah, you would run the 30. But like a lot of us, especially I know me at least, we have like a bunch of old nitros. You don't need 30% nitro fuel for these cars, right? They generally are meant for 20. That's kind of like how it is. I mean, when I started out, 20 was what I ran, and guess what? I'm back down to 20 now. JP goes, he uses the Traxxas 33 to start fires. That's how you get it done, dude. That's how you get it done. Once again, you know, the more nitro fuel you run for like a basher, obviously I'm not talking about racing, you're just going to richen up to get close to that lower engine temperature anyway. So your end result is not going to be that different. What do you guys think? Oh, look at that. We got a pebble that fell out. You see this? Massive discovery. Belts and pebbles do not get along. You guys know what I'm saying? Belts and pebbles. A pebble like this would kill a sprocket, destroy it, rip it out. Send it back to prehistoric caveman times. All right, next up. So modern engines, you could basically run anything safely, but you guys understand, like, back when I say that I ran 20% for a long time when I started, that's because a lot of engines were still ABN engines, right? They weren't even ABC yet. Like, all HPI was ABN. Traxxas, yet they had ABC. So, you know, 20% that was pretty much very good for ABN engines. You didn't need more. But modern engines, obviously they're way better. There's basically no more ABN engines. They're all pretty proper ABC. You could safely run 30% in anything. Question is, do you need to? You know, that's something else you got to ask. All right, so let's remove this upper deck. The truth is, a lot of the basic information we kind of know today, a lot of this stuff is basically like fables and old wives' tales from like the 1980s. Back when, you know, RC was, it was different than today in terms of engine tech, right? When you had a proper ABC engine, you can run basically anything safely. But a lot of the RTR cheaper engines, 20% was adequate. It was more than you needed. In fact, you needed higher oil back then, right? That's why a lot of the older fuels, they have like 16% oil, which makes sense. All right, so I think I'm going to remove this brake support now. Okay, so I got to remember how this is assembled. So I got to remove the upper deck, it looks like. This portion right there is screwed in. I'm just trying to get the engine out because all this has to get cleaned separately. Okay. Got the brake cam out. Let me loosen this up a little bit. Makes sense what I'm saying, everybody? I mean, it's a you know, choice of fuel is a highly subjective issue. But I'm talking about what's safe and adequate to run. I'm not talking about what you're going to destroy armors with out here. You know, if that's your goal, then you need the best of the best. Nitro Brothers wants to know, did HPI sell fuel? Oh, yes, they did, my dude. I actually have some. I ran it in several videos. I have it right under the table, dude. If you want, I could crawl under the table maybe and show it to you. It's literally under the table in the side of the, well, all the way in the far back area over there. But yes, I ran it. It was significantly awesome. Significantly awesome. All right, Tate McKenna goes, you got to do the upper deck. So I actually have a video of it somewhere. Hold on. Let me show another video. What car did I run? Revo. Say everything, but I know a certain certain amount. You guys can see okay? All right, here we go. This is the HPI Power Fuel, bros. That's me holding it with the Traxxas John Deere. So I still have that cord. It didn't go bad. It's fine. It was already like 20 years old when I bought it. It's pretty average fuel, I would say. It's basically just regular like VP or something. Purple. Back then there was really no purple fuel, but yep, there it goes. That's me holding it. I still have it. What do you think about that? Well, yeah, this is before, you know, before eating pizzas out here, bro. Let me see what the preview is like. Oh, yeah, that's me doing a speed run on a Revo, I guess, over there. Oh, yeah, that's back when I got the John Deere Revo. In the Prius. Oh, shit. I'm eating a Taco Bell in this video, too. Damn. I did this in the Taco Bell parking lot, I think. You see that? We've come full circle, my dudes. Full circle. What was that? I think that's a double-decker cheesy taco. Double-decker, baby. Like a bus. All right. Let's get back to the reality out here. One day, there's going to be the Nitro Gang Chronicles, like the Computer Chronicles. Yep. All right, so we're going to remove this a little bit. Let's see if I can get... All right, so this does move. St. McKenna said you got to remove the upper deck. Let's see if I can just move it a little bit. Just these screws. I don't want to move too much. But either way, yeah, I'm going to have to disassemble it anyway because I have to get... What I'm doing is I'm trying to get the sprocket that's under here. You know, a lot of people look at time. They're like, oh, the this, the that. Truth be told, time is irrelevant. All right. If you think about things in terms of like, you know, what happened back then, what happened tomorrow, what happened, whatever, it's irrelevant. What matters is that you deep down in your heart, in your brain, in your own intuition, in your conscience, are happy with what you have been doing, regardless of how many years ago it was. That's what matters. Okay. So, all right, so this is still pretty much stuck on there. Yeah, we have to get the upper deck. Yeah, so here we go. We've hit a snag in the Thunder Tiger design. First thing first, it's not very user-friendly. So I'm going to do a couple of these other screws, and I think the upper deck should move enough. I don't think I've ever taken apart one of these old Thunder Tigers, to be honest with you, so it's a bit of a learning experience. But, you know, you see a screw, you pull a screw. How hard can it be? Get it? See a screw, pull a screw. Okay, so we got those. All right, this might need a couple more. So there's obviously a couple more screws holding it down everywhere. Let's see. So I need to get this moving. It is moving a little bit. Let's see. Do I see any obvious screws? Normally, like, you would have enough flexibility to, well, the only other two screws are these screws in the front. There's definitely something on the bottom also, obviously. All right. It's not this one. Say, Makina, I think these two screws, right? Yep, Eduardo is correct. A good time is time spent wisely. I would agree with that. So I don't really care much about time. It's if anything, it's a man-made concept. But what matters is that you do something positive with it, or at least something that is rewarding. I think these. What's up there, Northeast Mods, man? Did I remove the wrong screws? Those are the lay shaft screws. Okay, well, that's enough. I got it to move a little bit. I don't need to do anything crazy. All right. It'll be enough to remove this. All right, we're going to undo the throttle. Obviously, this entire chassis is going to get cleaned anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. So we got to remove the two upper screws as well. I'm going to loosen them a little bit, maybe not fully. Oh, it's real tight over here. It feels like there's something in this area. Let me just leave it for now. This might be enough just to get to the lay shaft. I probably don't need to disassemble more. Okay, we got the engine out. Let me see what set screw we need for the pipe. I want to say thank you guys for showing up here today. All right. We got the engine out, just about. Okay. Thunder Tiger Pro 15. This is actually a pretty sickening engine. I looked up the specs earlier. It's pretty up there. Let me check the clutch. Okay, so the bearings are okay. Nothing wrong with this clutch bell. It seems to be very well mounted. All right, I'm going to clean this separately. But engine-wise, I don't see any major issues. The carb, it opens. Rotary carb. We got ourselves 2 needles. You know what? 2 needle carb is already state of the art compared to what HPI was doing back then. You guys understand what I'm saying? Literally, it is. All right, so got the engine out of the way. Step 1. Let me move this back and forth again. So what I'm attempting to do is some process of elimination. As I said before, we got ourselves a lot of friction in the drivetrain. And I'm trying to determine which belt it's coming from. We know it's not coming from the clutch belt. Appreciate you guys. We got about 100 viewers. All right, so what I'll do, I'm going to clean this up just a little bit. It's a little on the dirty side. And we're gonna take a look at further disassembly. By the way, this could be converted back to a touring car. As you could tell, these were obviously not the correct wheels. But it's fine. It looks good. I'm going to clean this later on in the sink, like, pretty well. But for now, this will do, just so I can at least diagnose the situation. All right, next up, need to see why we got a lot of friction in the drivetrain. So the wheels spin freely, so it's not a diff issue. Wonder Bread, how you doing there, man? Front wheels spin freely also. But it still has a lot of friction. Disc brake is pretty loose. So I know the disc brake is not binding because the disc brake is definitely not engaged. All right, so what we're going to have to do is remove... The best thing to do would be to remove this chassis brace and then get to the back end. What do you guys think? Chassis brace. Where's my E-clip removal tool? So, what's the update? Chassis brace or what? Wonder Bread, you missed it. I was eating a taco, dude. Do you know how long it's been since I had Taco Bell on this channel? It's been a long time. You missed the taco, dude. I ran out of carbs now. Notice mods, what's up, man? All right, so I think I'm gonna remove these clips. Bada bing, bada boom. This is the Traxxas included C-clip or E-clip, however you want to call them, removal tool. All right, same Makina goes, there's an easier way to remove the belt. Okay. I'm assuming it's obviously this. All right, so let's listen to the prior owner of this car. Go ahead. Let's remove the belt. The thing is, I want to diagnose, this belt is a little too tight. Honestly, when I press on the center belt, it is crazy tight. It should not be that tight. I'm worried that this is what's causing the stiffness. This belt is way, way, way too tight over there. So that's why I want to remove some of this just to do this. You see what I'm saying? Make sense? Yeah, this belt is let me just get up close over here. It doesn't have any deflection. It's way, way too tight. I'm worried that this is stressing out the drivetrain and making it crooked. Okay, so we can remove, say Makina goes, remove the left rear wheel and that right side rear housing plate. It's, all right, so the left rear wheel. So are we talking about this one or this one? Hold on, depending on which way you're looking at it. Remove the left rear wheel and that right side differential housing plate. Let me just take a look. There's obviously more than one way to do this. It's not like the only way, you know. Obviously, people that worked on these cars know. I want to first remove this so I can just check where the axles are binding. Does my logic make sense over here? That's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. So let me just continue with this, and I'm going to keep what you said in mind. But I do want to remove this tensioner first, just to see why is it so tight. Okay, let me see. Models. This one not playing ball. All right, got it. All right, so I'm actually repairing this how I would repair an RS4. I think that's part of the problem here. So I got it. On an RS4, what I would do is I would remove this first and go from the middle. All right, so let's see. I'm going to remove this. I just want to check to make sure nothing is binding in this area. Yeah. I work on these basically like RS4s. So I think that's going to be the logic. Okay. So bearing supported, brace. On the Super Nitros, they have a built-in tensioner. This is just a fixed part, which is fine. All right, so now I could see. All right, so the belt does have a little bit more flexibility now. Now let me roll it on the ground. So when I roll it, I'll be able to see. Draco, what's up there? Draco, man. Oh, we got Jorge Beltran. Opened up a door. Oh, yeah. It's way smoother now. It's way smoother. I believe this center stiffener is making it too tight. I wonder if I assembled it without it. It's way too tight. It's actually ruining the belt. So now it rolls way smoother. I think what happened. Bird's Eye World, how you doing there, man? Bird is the world, my bad. Correction. I believe this extremely tight stiffener, brace rather is what you would call it. It put a lot of stress on this belt and it added to chewing up the rear. Let's see. Notice this belt, it's basically good, but you could tell it is frayed, I think, just from the extra stretching of it. But now, when I press down on this belt, you see this deflection? That's actually normal for a belt like this. Before, it had no deflection at all. Incorrect. All right, same Makini is correct. Some of these have adjustable center dog bones. This one does not appear to have that. But it's all good, bro. It's all good. We're going to figure it out regardless. All right, so I got this section done. Brake setup looks okay. Now, I'm gonna dig into removing this portion. No, yeah, we gotta remove. No, hold on, there's a clip. Yeah, all right, we're gonna remove this portion, right? This one. Yeah, that makes sense. Same Makina, this one, right? Yeah, Eduardo goes, maybe you could use a turnbuckle on it. We're gonna see if I can make that happen. But basically, it was way, way, way too tight. Just not a good setup. Well, I'll put that back later. It's all like flexible now. All right, so let me get to see what I have to do. I'm thinking, all right. So what I'll do, I'm just going to start removing some parts. I'll do the shock first, just because it's a little bit easier for me to see what I'm doing. Okay, then we'll do... Let me see where the screws mount. Okay, we got the shock out. I have to undo the shock tower, it seems. All right. And then from the bottom, we'll remove the screws from the chassis. And it's not a bad setup. Let's just remove this one too. Okay, bada bing, bada boom, there we go. And now I'm going to try to get this out. There's a clip over there too. So let's do, I'm going to remove this turnbuckle. Okay, we got the dog bone out. I'll clean all these parts, obviously. They'll be pretty much spotless after. This gives me a good opportunity to clean that as well. All right, so we got a C-clip over here on the lay shaft. Let's remove the clip first. Oh, good thing I didn't lose that one. So far, all the clips are actually the same size. So I'm not worried about, you know, misplacing clips. All right, let's do this side. Remove those screws. What do you guys think about the repair so far? I mean, I'm learning as I'm going, you know. Oh, found another rock. Yep, there we go. We found another massive rockola. Ray Coral, Spotty Jack wants to know, what year was this released? This was about 2002, but there were many models of these cars, I think dating back to, let me get this rockola out, dating back to like 1999. There we go. So far, 2 proper rocks came out. I was watching a video today. This guy, I guess, bought a bunch of. The question is, can you get gold from sand? So he bought a bunch of sand at Home Depot, basically $1,000 worth of sand, and wound up with $25 worth of gold. I mean, it's possible. You know, we do know that gold has, that sand is does contain some gold content. All right, same Makina goes, be careful with the O-rings inside the diff cups. All right, yeah. Yeah, you're correct. Usually when they build them, there we go. That's what he's referring to. There are O-rings inside there, which, just so you guys know, if you lose that O-ring inside the diff cup, it pushes the axle out. You could use fuel line. So not the end of the world, you could use fuel line. Okay. This thing is disassembled. Oh, you see that? He was correct. One fell out, but I'm going to save it. Don't worry. I got it on my parts tray over here. It's all safe, bro. All right, so let's see. I'm going to basically just try to pull this to the side now. It's coming. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Going to wash all this. Bearings look okay. Arm looks okay. That's the entire diff housing. Okay. The goal is to replace the sprocket and, if I zoom in, that highly shredded belt, because the rock definitely shredded that belt. Likely what happened is the rock got stuck between the sprocket and, you know, as it was spinning, it just shredded the belt fully. So all of this has to be cleaned real good. All right, so we have another C-clip on this assembly. Right there. What I want to do is just replace it and put it back quickly so I don't forget how it's assembled. Michael Sutra is correct. The Home Depot sand comes from the Fraser River in Canada, which has a little of gold. Exactly. I've been watching gold refining videos. Unfortunately, it takes a shit ton of acid. And mercury. Which, well, not very good. All right. I don't need to remove the upper deck. I'm going to try to avoid that. So let's get this clip out. Got about 90-something viewers, guys. Thank you for showing up on a Saturday night. It's not every day we get to work on an old Thunder Tiger Nitro. Okay, got it. Boom. All right, so this should just pop out. There we go. This one holds the sprocket in. There should be a pin. And that's basically how you do it, man. All right, let's pop it out. Drop it and pop it. Okay. Oh, yeah. This belt is torn. The rock definitely killed it. Let's get the sprocket out. And I'm going to move this. I'm going to keep this aligned because I want that pin to remain there. So I don't have to disassemble anymore. All right, let me compare these parts. I'm going to fix the one on the right a little bit. It's a little bit crooked, but it's no big deal. All right, so it's basically exactly what I need. So shout out to Same Makina hooking me up with this. Once I repair it, I mean, the sprocket is way better. This one is real torn. See that the belt, basically, when it was sliding, it created so much heat from the friction that it just killed the sprocket teeth itself. I'm going to clean this one up later. I don't think I'm going to put it in right now. Let me just do a little bit of trimming. But the sprocket itself is fine, actually. Right, that's just a little minimal stuff over here. I'll clean it. All right, so let's put this to the side. Let me check the length of the belts. All right, I think we got ourselves a belt match made in heaven. Is it me or the newer belt is a little thicker? Let's see what happens. I'm going to put it on the sprocket. All right, actually, it's real good. Yeah, this belt, the thicker belt is actually perfect on the sprocket. So that's how it should be seated. Not bad, bro. I think I'm 50% of the repair done, right? So I'm not going to finish the rest of it right now because it's real dirty. I'm not going to assemble it back the way it is. All of this has to get cleaned. The fuel system has to get cleaned. The engine has to get cleaned. All of it got to get cleaned. What time is it? Oh my God, it's 10:05. Yeah, so the sprocket is real killed. But like I said, belt drive cars with rocks, that's what's going to happen to you. And it happened to this one. Let me remove this O-ring. Ray Coral wants to know, where did I get a replacement belt from? Luckily, today, I met up with the person I got this car from, right? He's the right-hand man to Dennis Anderson himself with more motorcycles. And he gave me the sprocket and the belt. There's also a new one. I'm going to keep this one for future reference. I think the center belt might be the same. So I think it's actually the same belt as the center belt. This one says rear, but I think the rear and the center is the same. Because that center one is also a little bit on the stretched out part. So I'm going to keep down for now, and I'm going to try to put this one in. Right? This one, it looks like it does... Oh, that's the old belt. What am I talking about? The new one. I'm showing you guys the old belt. Moron. Okay. Yeah, the new one is very good. So that's about it, bros. I mean, yeah, I will say, working on this is not like an RS4. That is a fact right there. Notice these fuel tanks. These are from, well, basically the RC10 GT and the TC3. Ray Core wants to know, if I did not get it from him, where would I got it from? So I looked up the parts manual. This part is basically nowhere in the world. I looked it up. Not one in the world at all. I looked it up. Now, I would have just ran a front wheel drive. Like that's all that would have happened, you know. MPTRC, what's up, bro? He goes, hybrid. Is there a part number on the belt that's too tight? Okay, the center belt. Let me check for you. It might not even be the correct belt because, like, it's way too tight. Okay, Sam McKinney goes, the center is smaller. Okay, it's probably not visually obvious, but yeah, if he said it's smaller, he knows. I mean, so what I get is this. I'm going to zoom in on the... I mean, I don't know, maybe you're looking for this or something, but all it says is that on the belt. Can't see much else, really. Made in Japan, don't crimp, and those numbers. But there is a seller on... Let me check eBay, actually. I'm just curious to see if we'll get anything. Ray Coral wants to know, could I have swapped that sprocket out with something else? So I was looking at RS4 sprockets. That would have been my next option, but that particular one, I looked it up, impossible. Nowhere in the world. In fact, it's probably in my searches. I got lucky that today when I went to meet up with Saint Makina here, he had a spare one that he gave me. If it wasn't for that, I would have been toast on this model. Yeah, he got all the TS4-N parts in the world, so you guys know. Let me see. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for Thunder Tiger TS4-N belt. Let me see what we get in the reviews, in the results. All right. So there is a seller on eBay. I did notice a while back. It's literally the same belts, the one I just showed you. So in terms of the belts, we got the belts. This is literally that same brand, Tough Racing. So this one says the rear. I guess you would have to count how many of these teeth there are, right? I guess in order to be totally 100% accurate, you would have to count the teeth on the sprockets, or on, well, the teeth on the belt. But this appears to be the belts themselves. So it's the belts are actually not a big deal. Oh man, South Korea. Seoul. Why did I read it wrong? That's right, Michael Sucha. Melissa goes to me, is the blizzard ready? I go to her, Melissa, I already ran that thing. Come on, give me a break. She out there trying to get me to burn some nitro in the snow. Probably wants to kick me out of the house to watch some of her drama TV shows. All right, so we got the 3 belts. I mean, I can't tell based on if these two are the same or not. Let's see, maybe the part numbers will tell us something, but I don't think so. All right, so it just says 3 timing belts. Directly replace. So these are the part numbers. Okay. So it does appear that the part numbers for the belts are different. So the one I have actually isn't even the correct part number. Harlem, what's up, man? That's right. Probably she already told me, dude. Did you charge up the Kyosho Blizzard? She wants to watch her stupid. Well, I don't know. She's watching the show called something Dawson Creek related. I don't know. You know, it's women's TV. You know, I watch more like Demolition Man. You know, Terminator. Pretty much anything with Martin Lawrence. She watches anything with that Dawson's Creek guy. So the belts are really not a big deal. Let's see what else. There's also original belts. This looks like the center one. And we also have the correct... Oh, RC Scrapyard. That's the website that I do research on. There appears to be a shit ton of... Eduardo goes, can you print the cogs? Problem is... there's no designs for those prints. I could print them, but there's no designs for those prints. Also, the thing is, oh, here's that part right there. Wonder why it's not adjustable. The problem is with the really small RC parts, guys, they're not really meant to be printed. Like a part like this, right? You got to think of like in layers, in terms of layer height. There's like real tight tolerances in something like this. And most consumer 3D printers, even though I have one, you need to print in nylon. So this is going to be difficult to print, you know, with a consumer grade printer. That's kind of the problem. But notice this belt right here is like half shredded as well. It might still be okay, but I think once I assemble, you know, the whole component, it's just far too stretched. The belt should not be this way. Like in an RS4, this would not be a problem. The RS4 is very, very good belts. Let me see if I can get one to show you guys, okay? If you want to see an RS4 belt, I could do it right now. I'll whip it up. All right. Anybody want to RS4 time it or what? Just and then I think we're going to call it a day. Because my hands are too dirty. I got cleaning to do. As you could tell, it looks like a Nitro storm came down. Yep, Nitro storm. All right, so this is one of my older RS4s that I've featured in many, many videos actually so far. This is a really nice one in my opinion. I'll take the shell off. Gotta be real gentle. This is the Wolfpack model. So, yeah, the setup is real similar to the Thunder Tiger. In fact, very similar. This one has a 2-speed. Notice I don't even have a belt tensioner on this one. But the belt is completely fine. Completely fine. Notice the belt itself, it's barely chewed up. I think this is likely the original belt. Guys, Van Damme is like in his mid-60s right now. The only thing Van Damme is going to be fighting is probably dementia soon. Let's call it what it is. We got the Robinson Racing and the T3.0. Nicholas Hill, what's up, bro? Thank you for being a channel member. That goes for all of you guys. Yeah, the only thing Van Damme is going to be fighting... I don't know if you guys saw one of his older movies from the 2000s where he was a Mountie in Canada. Remember that movie, The Mountie in Canada, where he cursed a lot and he was a bad guy? Yeah, that shows you the abilities of old Van Damme. But yeah, this belt, notice, there's no tensioner. Now, you could get a tensioner installed, but even with this flex, dude, the belt is fine. And I ran the crap out of this RS4, guys, just so you know. In the front... Belt has a good amount of slack. In the rear, this belt actually is probably the worst one I've had on the RS4, but it also has enough slack for it to still have some grab, I would say. But yeah, this is a sickening. This is probably my best RS4 that I've worked on. With the Paris Racing pipe and the T3.0 stream engine. Nicholas Hilgo's gonna finish last night's stream and work on the associated MGT. Well, that's awesome, bro. I'm happy to hear that. Right. These cars are pretty similar in layout to the Thunder Tiger, but like the diffs are smoother. Look at this. Look at this. It's beautiful. The diffs are beautiful. The belts didn't totally kill themselves. And I'm running a modern power engine over here, you know. All right, bros, I think we're going to call it a day. As you could tell, I have a Nitro Storm Tornado out here. It's a tornado of Nitros. I'll be here for a couple more minutes, say our hello, say our goodbyes. And, I mean, all you got to know about Van Damme today is watch that movie where he was like the Canadian guy fighting the Mounties, the Canadian Mounted Police. The RCMP, right? It's called the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. RCMP. Right. St. McKenna wants to know, how's that compared to the TS4-N? Well, you know, this one is obviously heavily modified. This is way far from stock. This is like a proper 2-horsepower engine. This is the T3.0. The engine is new. There's literally nothing that old on this car. But, in my opinion, RS4 would have been a proper vehicle. The only thing that Thunder Tiger was better at, they had better engines. The engines in the Thunder Tigers on the TS4-N were better, right? Back when this was new, would have had like a basic ABN shitbox. You know, this one is obviously way ahead of what it was. So, the TSN4 had a better engine, in my opinion. All right, bros, thank you all for checking out the stream. I appreciate it. And I'm going to get to washing, get to cleaning, and get to getting the blizzard ready for tomorrow because Melissa trying to kick me out of the house for about an hour. I don't know what she's planning on doing. We're going to get snowed in. I mean, she already did her hair. Can't be doing hair again. I don't know how you guys are. Do your women tell you when they're going to do their hair? I'm just curious. Because mine, like 2 days before she does her hair, she tells me she's going to do her hair. And, you know, she's doing it at home. I don't understand why I need to know if she's doing her hair. Do you guys get that? Is that because it's like a 3-hour process? I think that's the case. Anyway, guys, blizzard and hair time. Don't forget. Appreciate you all. If you haven't watched today's video on the OS 4-stroke, please do me a solid. In fact, what I'll do, I want you to click the link at least, okay? Put in a lot of effort into that video from today. And, well, we need to make that OS 4-stroke great again. So I'll put a link right here. If you can, give it a little bit of a view. I just need the ad revenue. You know what I'm saying? I need that ad revenue. YouTube needs to be told to make Nitro great again. So please click that here in the stream. And at least load a commercial. Shut it down. I don't care what you do after. But I'm proud of that video. And I'm going to go respond to some comments. My dudes, I'll see you all later. Tarek, Lasso Kid, WBL, Only RC, Harlem, Ray Coral, St. McKenna. Talk to you guys on the next one.